Nia Jax walked into the picture. Ultimately, Nia Jax has had opportunities since the top of this year to win this title back against Tiffany Stratton, yet she still finds herself in the picture. There is a serious lack of opponents for Tiffany Stratton, and now it's becoming alarmingly obvious. SmackDown, SmackDown, SmackDown. When is this show going to get any better? Like, I would even go as far as saying this show may have got worse since going back to 2 hours, which I don't think I ever saw coming. I definitely thought with, the 3 hours, it was a stretch at times, but 2 hours, they just have not got it right since they returned to this format. But anyway, on this show, we had a segment that really baffled me. It was a backstage segment where Nick Aldis was trying to squash a fight between Jade Cargill and the WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton. Now, it looks like we are returning to that well following Jade Cargill's loss at SummerSlam, which was questionable, but I thought, okay, fine. For me, that was the turning point in me kind of appreciating more Tiffany Stratton's reign. I thought Tiffany Stratton hasn't been given like good major storylines apart from maybe the Charlotte one, and you could argue whether that was good or not. She hasn't really been given a lot of major stories. She's been just fed opponents, and she has walked through all of the opponents so far. So I began to appreciate that, okay, she's a good champion. She's having good matches. She's beating everyone put in front of her, and it's almost like, next, who's next? Let me beat that person. But now we're returning to the well of Jade Cargill. And for me, more concerning than Jade Cargill and her recent challenge for the WWE Women's Championship, Nia Jax walked into the picture. Nia Jax, who has just had a quick stint down in NXT, beat Lash Legend, which I'll probably return to in a second, and come back to main roster. So you'd almost imagine, right, we have nothing for you on SmackDown right now. Go down to NXT, do this little program with Lash Legend, come back up to main roster, and we're going to put you in the exact same place that you just were, having championship matches, having championship opportunities against the champion who defeated you for the championship, and we clearly haven't really found our way out of this cycle since then. There is a serious lack of opponents for Tiffany Stratton, and now it's becoming alarmingly obvious. There isn't necessarily a lack of women on SmackDown, although, of course, you would say, SmackDown is a strict 2 hours now. Raw is 2.5 hours or so. So Raw probably has more women. But there is a lack of building some of these women towards the top. There is a load of women involved in like factions and mid-card stuff and tag teams, which aren't really doing much of anything. They have women. They are not utilizing the women, and it is making Tiffany Stratton's reign a bit of a waste. A bit of a waste because Tiffany Stratton isn't having meaningful stories with any of these women. She's just beating them, like knocking them down like bowling pins and moving on to the next one. But in this case of Nia Jax, it's the one that comes down and comes back up because ultimately Nia Jax has had opportunities since the top of this year to win this title back against Tiffany Stratton, yet she still finds herself in the picture. Now, part of the issue is I think we haven't really put an onus on Tiffany Stratton to get to know Tiffany Stratton since she came to the main roster. I've been saying this. If you watch my videos, I've been saying this. Tiffany Stratton is formidable in the ring, right? She is so great to watch. But Tiffany Stratton is who? Like, who is Tiffany Stratton is the question. We know Tiffany Stratton had this whole daddy's little girl gimmick and, she was kind of showing off she's a rich girl, a bit of a Barbie doll, all of that kind of stuff. But who is she deep down? Like the struggles, the fighting from beneath or anything like that. We haven't had any kind of level of story for Tiffany Stratton. So Tiffany Stratton is a bit wishy-washy as well in her presentation. Not her fault. WWE just haven't really given us anything to hang our hat on and really, understand her character beyond the fact that she thinks she's better than everyone else in ring, and so far, I guess she's proven it. Like, there's nothing else to really hang our hat on when it comes to Tiffany Stratton. So I think that's part of the problem. But like I said, there is another part of the problem where there is a lot of women in the SmackDown division that are either in factions, lower mid-card, or they're not ready for the main event, whether that's by ability or, just by selling themselves their character or anything like that. Like, they're just not ready to elevate to what is the main event scene of the women's division. We've probably got a lot of main eventers in the women's division doing side missions and tag team stuff and not actually in the main event. So there is something there that needs to be looked at. Now, I'm going to quickly run down the SmackDown women's roster, and you're going to see the misallocation of talent in lower card stuff, in tag teams, and then kind of who that leaves, right? I've got it up on my screen. Let's go through this. Starting with Alba Fire. Alba Fire is a fantastic wrestler, but she's here doing side missions in the Secret Service, which are a great act, but she should be someone that should be on top of the card. That's an NXT, longest reigning NXT UK women's champion right there. Bianca Belair, we know she's injured, so fair enough. Candice LeRae, another fantastic wrestler that is out here, just doing the valet stuff for DIY. Charlotte Flair, probably the top of that division in a tag team. Chelsea Green, someone that should have been probably elevated up the card following her US title run, which she probably shouldn't have lost. But she's here just doing kind of comedic mid-card stuff with the Secret Service. Julia, US champion, but we haven't seen her, hasn't really done anything since she won that title. Jade Cargill, she is the number one contender, the pretender to the title right now. So we'll kind of leave Jade Cargill out of this. Kiana James just came back to SmackDown. She is in a valet role as well. Michin, she is here begging for US title opportunities, but loses every single one she gets. So she is lower mid-card. Nikki Cross, again, valet kind of act with the Wyatt Six. Piper Niven in this tag team, or valet kind of act in the Secret Service. Again, a fantastic wrestler, but she is stuck in the middle of this Secret Service thing. Tiffany Stratton is the champion. Zelina Vega just dropped the US title. Hasn't really got enough to elevate to the main event scene. Should probably be in and around the US title scene. Guys, that's it. That is all the women that is listed here for SmackDown. So you can see it's very shallow, and there's a lot of women involved in tag team stuff or just not here. Alexa Bliss is a name I don't think I mentioned. But Alexa Bliss, again, she's a tag team champion. We don't have a lot here. I'm just checking if there's anyone else that I missed. B-Fab, she's not ready for the main event scene. We're not building these people that could be ready. The US Championship is not really being used to kind of see who's the next crop to elevate to the top title. We have an issue here. And it's affecting the champion, Tiffany Stratton. We're wasting Tiffany Stratton here as champion. They maybe need to bring up some faces from NXT. Jordan Grace was once rumored about moving to SmackDown. I know she's involved right now with Blake Monroe. That could be another name that they bring up to SmackDown. Lash Legend for sure. I think she's been dwindling since the destruction of Metaphor. I think they need to bring her up and do some stuff with her. I think that's a really good talent right there. There's 3 names that we can, do something with on the main roster on SmackDown. I think we've got a couple of names on Raw that aren't really doing much of anything. Seeing the Kabuki Warriors get back together is a bit of a disappointment because they've done it. We've been there. We said we were ending Damage Control. Now you guys are kind of hanging out again with Io Sky. Granted, it looks like they're about to feud and stuff, but maybe Asuka should have returned to SmackDown when she came back from injury, Let's get some talent over there. I really do think that we are not setting up this division with the best possible chance for the division to flourish despite all the talent here, and that will then affect the champion. It is already affecting the champion, Tiffany Stratton. So I think this is a cause for concern. I really think they need to look at this. NXT, they've got a well of opportunity there to bring ladies up. Even if they want to shift ladies up from NXT and then use some ladies from TNA or AAA into NXT to kind of fill that void, let's do it. What are these partnerships for if we can't rely on some of these names? Or use the partnerships to funnel people straight to SmackDown. Because some of those ladies that work in other companies will be ready. So yeah, I definitely think this is something that WWE need to look at. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you're believing in this Tiffany Stratton run, like I said, I'm believing in the run. I just think we are running out of opponents. I really do think we are running out of opponents. So who do you think should be her next challenger and maybe even dethrone her from the title? Like I said, we're looking back at Jade Cargill already. Nia Jax, you're looking back at again. So is there any other name we're forgetting here? Even if it's someone from Raw that we can bring over, make your suggestions down below in the comments, because this SmackDown women's division need help. And I think I've just literally torn it apart so that you can see that we are just not got enough ladies in that main event gap to really pose a credible threat to Tiffany Stratton. Like I say, let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. My name's Mex. I make videos on WWE and AEW. So if that sounds like something for you, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you get notified every single time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.